Hello, Craig and Christine. My name is Pat, and I'm one of the construction managers here at Anthem for Epic. Today is August 20th, and we're going to be doing your pre-drywall virtual video today. And so, welcome. And today we're going to look at your entire house, inside and outside, talk about many different things. I've got a little checklist here that we're going to go over, and we've got a lot going on, and we're progressing very well. And we'll talk all through that after we look at your entire house, all the electrical, plumbing, mechanical, low volt, and exterior. Then we talk a little bit of schedule at the end. So today being August 20th, this week is a big week for us. We've been moving through rough inspections, and tomorrow morning I have a final rough inspection from the city of Broomfield, and then we're moving right into installation tomorrow. So if you're out this weekend, please take a look around, see what's going on. I'm going to be stocking drywall next week. So with that said, I've got this little cheat sheet, Craig and Christine, that we're going to talk about today. Grading and drainage, gutters and downspouts, the elevation of your home, window grids, electrical, low volt, plumbing, mechanical, projected schedule. If I see anything along the way, I'm going to make some notes to make sure that I get them taken care of. But if you find anything this weekend when you come out, please just get a hold of Kyle, add them to the list, and I'll get things taken care of, no problem. It's been a joy building your home, and we'll just continue to march and make sure that things come out correctly at the end. So with that said, you have selected what we refer to as the 2361 model. You've also have the modern prairie elevation, which has a combination of stucco, stone, and siding. And you can see that we have started the exterior cladding, meaning we've got all of the lath up for the stone and the stucco. We've already put the base coat of the stucco on, and that has to sit for about 7 days, and then we'll do the color coat. The stone should be delivered next week sometime, and then stone will start shortly after that. I think the masons have a house ahead of this one before they start, so it could be the first of the month before they start the stonework, but that's going to happen right away too. We've also got roofers on the roof. We're installing the roof tile, so we've got all the what we call the rough gutters on, and they'll be finishing the roof tile. So with that said, you can see here you've got a combination of siding, stone, and stucco. Everything that is low lath work, that's masonry lath, which is all the stone is applied there. We got stucco above. You can see we've got a relief in the banding, and that's a different color. That's a trim color than the body of the stucco. We've got 2 coach lights on the front of this garage, 2 coach lights on the single stall garage as well. You can see we've got gutters up, and this will catch the upper roof, take it over. The downspout is on the corner. This will catch part of the upper roof. This garage will come over. We've got a downspout on this front corner of the house that'll drain off into the front yard, out in the landscape area. Got all the siding up in the entry. We just got some detail work to do, but that's pretty typical. Garage doors, they've been on order for 3 weeks now. They're having difficulty with the State of the Union, and I'm having some supply chain slowdown. They're having problems getting some raw materials in to make garage doors, and it's taking a little longer than normal, but rest assured your garage doors are ordered, and they'll go on as soon as they get here. I'm hoping within the next 10 days. So we'll see what happens. But as we move around the house, we'll walk around to the front or the side of the tandem garage. You see the 3 windows. Also, in the modern prairie elevation, the windows have no grids in the modern prairie. The Colorado foothills and Colorado rustic have different grid patterns, but in the modern prairie, they're just clear, no non-gridded windows. So there's no grids in your windows as we move around. You haven't got any electrical options in the front. Now on the side, and in the front and in the back, we'll show you both locations. There is a holiday light circuit, which is on a switch at the front entry in the foyer, and I'll show you that when we're inside. But this is one of the locations of the holiday circuit. There'll be a waterproof outlet there that's on the switch. Also downspout location, which will kick back to the house, come down outside the masonry and off to the side. You see I've dug the house lot next to you this week. This is this is our newest plan that we're going to be building here. It's a 4778 plan. So that's a 2-story home walkout, which is going right next door to you. I'll have the foundation in next week. but I dug it this week and we're putting the foundation in. So as we move down the side, this is the east side of your house. You can see this all gets stone, stucco is above, siding below. Got furnace intake and exhaust vents sticking out. That's these pipes. We've got, this is a ventilating fan from basement. Also, we've got the water heater, intake and exhaust. And you can see where this is where would be the bedroom in the finished basement. But this is the electrical panel termination point. This is where Xcel Energy brings the power in from the pedestal in the rear. And we've got our main disconnect and main breaker panel, and then the sub panel here, which would be all your lighting circuits and outlets and things like that. Generally in the large box, we put in what we call the heavies, the air conditioning, the furnace, all the 220 circuits. Also, you've opted for a car charger in your garage. That'll be in this big box. So this is the sub panel where all the lighting and the standard outlet circuits go. We'll put the heavy gauge in the main disconnect panel. Also, next to the electrical panel, you'll see this low volt coil here. This is the low volt connection coming from inside the house at the panel location, the cable and internet cables. This is the underground pre-wire coming from the pedestal. So whether you order Comcast, Xfinity, or whomever it is, their cables will come from the pedestal. There's already pull wires in there, and they'll set a demarc or a disconnect here, and that's where your telephone and cable will terminate and connect right here. So main service panel, as we move around to the back of the house, you see this pipe sticking out of the back, and this is the sump pump. I have 2 sump pits installed in your home, one in the front half of the house, and I'll show you that when we're in the inside, and then one in this walkout, one in the low side. So one in the high grade and one in the low grade. So this is a sump pump ejection pipe. We move around and you can see through the scaffolding, you can see we've got our siding up. This whole rear is stone masonry all the way to above the great room windows, or halfway through the great room windows, grand room windows, master bedroom. Then it's stucco above. You can see we got our base coat on there. Got the stairs on the back deck. Post set. Move around, columns are ready for masonry as well. On the back patio, from an electrical standpoint, what we have is a waterproof outlet low, and then we have a coach light up above, and that's switched from the inside, and we'll look at that when we're inside in a minute. So this is your back patio, which you're gonna have a great view out here. If you can see through the smoke, you can see the foothills a little bit today. Yesterday we couldn't even see them. Couldn't see the flat irons, couldn't see anything yesterday. Got a little glimpse of them today. So as we move around the scaffolding, we'll come up the west side. Again, masonry follows grade as best as possible. This is walkout window here. As we move up, you can see the penetrations coming out of the house on this side. This is hose bib and sprinkler disconnect. This is where the irrigation box will go underground here. So there'll be a vacuum breaker, backflow preventer mounted here, and the hose bib is located here as well. So stone will step up with grade. This is the gas meter location. Normally on underground, when they put these in early at my foundation stage, they normally have gas meters, and those are set. It's not. You can see it's not set yet. There's a problem with the supply chain, and gas meters are running a little scarce these days. They're telling us I should see mine in about another couple of weeks, but it's about 6 weeks behind schedule for gas meters. No other electrical, but you can see downspout location from the high roof coming down, and then from the low front garage coming down at the corner as well. As we look back, you can see the high windows. Those are kitchen windows, and then right in the center of the windows, that's your kitchen hood vent. That's what that penetration there is, the kitchen hood. The grading is, we're going to look down this lot toward the back, and I'm standing a little bit in front of the garage, and as we look at our plot plan here, so this is oriented to your lot here. So we're standing right now right at about this location, and you can see the engineer has got the high point on the lot on both sides at about the same point, kind of right over on this left side here. And then so everything from the high point splits drainage to the front and then drainage to the rear. So you can see I'm going to have grade after masonry is applied. I'll be building grade up a little bit, and then I'll be sloping this away to your property line. The first 10 feet we like to have a pretty good slope to make sure we keep water away from the foundation, and we're required to have that steeper, a little bit steeper slope to offer and to maintain our 10-year structural warranty. We don't want any water getting close to the foundation. So we got a little bit of a good grade coming off, and then it'll flatten out to the property line. In the rear, you can see it's a fairly sizable backyard here, 30-foot yard back there, 30-foot deep, and it's a very gentle grade back there. So everything is just sheeting to the rear. You have no swale or anything in that backyard. It's just a gentle grade out back. So we have the stoop out there at the back of the steps from the deck, and then straight back grading. This is a plot plan, which if you don't have a copy of this, if you ask Kyle, he'll gladly send you a copy. A lot of information on here. Shows us percentage of grades that we're to try and achieve, what direction the water flows. That's the arrows. All kinds of information. This is a dimension. Engineers work in tenths of feet, so 20.0 feet wide. This shows the footprint of your foundation. This is your house and the size of your house. You've got an 11,000 square foot lot, and you've got about a 3,400 square foot footprint. So, but there's a lot of information here. All the little X's are real elevations. So for example, this is top of foundation elevation, finished floor elevation, and this is in real elevation. So your finished floor is sitting in your dining area. You're going to be at 5,397.5 feet above sea level. That's what that relates to. So a lot of information here. You'll need this also for your landscaper as you move into that process with talking with a landscape contractor. This will be very helpful information for them as well. Little key down here that tells you what the symbols are on the plot plan. But just to give you a little heads up, this little stop sign symbol you'll see, that's a number of steps to finished floor. So from your patio, or excuse me, from your deck, you're going down 16 steps to grade. Up in the front, 3 steps up to the front porch, 1 step into the house. In the garage, 3 steps up from the garage to your finished floor. That's what the little stop sign means. Those are the number of steps. So this plot plan is a very handy thing to have. If you don't have a copy, like I say, just get a hold of Kyle, he'll send you one. So as we finish up with the outside, we're gonna walk into the 2-stall garage. Here we are in the 2-car, and you have opted for a little bit of electrical in here. I'm going to get to your electrical mini, and we're going to look at that. For our standard garages, we've got 2 lights up in the ceiling. We have a garage door opener outlet and low volt wiring going to both sides of the garage door for the sensors when you install an opener. We have no low volt selected in the garage, but I know you have high voltage. I'm getting to your electrical mini. The options in your 2-stall garage right here, this is your electric car charge option, and that's 220 volt, 50 amp. We've got service outlets around the perimeter of the garage, 1 on each wall, double switches. This is the owner's entry, and there's 2 switches here. One is for the interior garage lights. The other is for the coach lights, and that's on a 3-way switch going to the front entry, which I'll show you. Well, we've got service outlets in the garage. One of these 2 on the west wall, the sprinkler people, the landscapers, will be using one of those for your irrigation clock. And most likely this one up toward the front is what I'm, no, that's 20 amp dedicated. Probably be this outlet here. So standard 2-stall garage. We're gonna move around to the single car. Pardon our trash truck, a little bit of noise in the background. No electrical options in the single car. We do have service outlets again around the garage. Now, depending on the landscaper's I have a feeling because the valve box is over on the west side, they're gonna use the outlet in there. Depending on where the water service is, sometimes they use this one, but it looks like you're gonna have these all to yourself. Again, in the ceiling, we've got a light, and we've got an outlet and for the garage door opener, and switch right inside of the service door, and wire for garage door opener. We'll look at the front porch lights from the inside. That pretty much wraps up the outside. We're just gonna walk through the owner's entry. We're gonna make our way to the front entry, and we'll start there. So we're coming up the gangplank. Steps are coming. We'll look at the entry electrical, owner's entry electrical when we come back. Trying to get away from the noise a little bit. So here we are at the front entry. You can see I've got switch bank here. I've got 3 switches and a single also. And this single, I've separated it. This is your holiday circuit. So this is your switch for the holiday circuits that are on the front and the back eaves. Just so I kind of like it separate so that I'm not hitting the switch by accident that I don't want to. So what we've got here is I've got a 3-gang switch box. And we've got exterior garage coach lights, and that's on a 3-way to the owner's entry, so you can turn the coach lights on outside from either location. We've got the front porch lights. Those are in the ceiling. We have 3 recessed fans in the ceiling. We're gonna pause. Okay, we're back. As I was mentioning, there are 3 recessed cans on the front porch. So we have 3-way switch for the coach lights, switch for the porch lights, and then we have a switch for the hallway lights above us. And I'm gonna refer to those as our travelers as we go, but there's 4 recessed cans in the traveling switch, and we switch very logically. When you enter a space, there's a switch to turn on lights. When you exit, place to turn off lights behind yourself, and a lot of 3-way switches. And we'll talk about those as we go. So, coach, porch, travelers. Here we are at the study. We've got double doors to study. Double doors open up. We've got 3 switches here. You opted for 4 recessed cans in this room. We have a ceiling fan pre-wire, which is the second switch. And then we have what's called a half hot. In every room, we have a half switched outlet. It's generally 45 degrees from the switch. So here's the half hot outlet in this room. And that's it will be upside down at trim. Half of that switch will be always hot, half is on the switch. You can plug a lamp in and turn that light on and off. Service outlets around the room. Also from a low volt standpoint, you have asked for a CP location and next to the nearest outlet. So this is the best outlet I felt here. We've got one on each corner of the room, and so we've got the CP location next to that outlet. As we leave the study, we're going to walk into the guest, or what we call the master B. So we've got 2 switches as we move into the master B area. First one would be, it's on a 4-way, which would turn off the travelers behind us, and we're going to turn on lights ahead of ourselves in the hallway. So as we walk down the hallway, we have got the laundry room on the left. We've got a linen closet outside the bedroom. Door swings in. We've got a light switch to turn off our travelers behind ourselves, and 2 switches as we come into the room. You've requested a ceiling fan pre-wire. One of those switches. The other switch is for the half-hot outlet across the room. You've also asked for an outlet at 72 inches on the adjoining study wall. There's your outlet at 72. Also from a low volt, we have the CP location at 72. Service outlets around the room, the half-hot across the room. We've got a walk-in closet in the master B. Switch on the wall as you enter for recessed can lighting above. Walk into the guest bath. We got 2 switches. One is for the light above vanity, and it also turns on the light above the tub shower combination. And the other is for the fan in the bathroom. We got tub shower combination, light, light above the vanity, and fan. Just because it's convenient, as we leave the master B, we're going to turn lights on ahead of ourselves again, but we're going to take a right and we're going to move into the laundry room. Into the laundry room, 2 switches on your left. One is for the ceiling lights and the other is for the fan. We've got a whisper fan located in the laundry room. Right here on the left, we've got washer and dryer. Water for washer, drain. We'll also put a pan underneath the washing machine location. 110 power. 220 for the dryer vent. We vent the dryer all the way up through the roof. Laundry sink location and outlets above countertop height in the laundry. Also 3-way switches for the fan and light. So as you leave the laundry room or you're entering from the master side, the lights you can turn on and off from both locations. Also in the laundry room, we have our attic access. So this is our attic access, and you'll be able to see here from behind me that up high there is a light and a service outlet. And that outlet can be used for anything that you choose in the attic. If you need to service anything, install anything, but there is a light there as well. We'll move back to the front entry foyer. We turn off lights behind yourself, turn on our travelers ahead as we move ahead in the foyer entry. As we turn the corner here on this 45 wall, there's a switch, and this is to turn lights on ahead of yourself again. Excuse me. This is our 4-way to turn off our travelers behind ourselves. In the grand room, you see 4 switches over here. This operates everything in the grand room. We've got switch for the half-hot outlet across the room. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wire. We've got mini cans next to the fireplace. And 4 recess cans. So all those operate from this location. Here's our fireplace. We've got outlet down low in this niche with low volt CP location. Conduit coming up to at 72 inches above, 76 inches above fireplace. Excuse me, 80. Looks a little high. Both power and the conduit are at 80 inches per your request. This little switch on the side in the niche here, that is the operation of the fireplace. So in the grand room, you've opted for the 2 4-inch mini cans in both niches, and we put ceiling fan pre-wire in, also 4 cans located in the grand room. Service outlets all around the room, plenty of power everywhere. On this side of the grand room, switch here, we've got a 3-way switch on the half-hot. So if you've got a lamp plugged in and you turn it on over there, you can turn it off on this side as well. We also have 2 other switches where we've got waterproof outlet in the ceiling outside, where we've switched this, and ceiling fan 3-way. As we move around the corner to the patio or to the deck, we've got our deck lights. So we've got the separated box for the waterproof ceiling, waterproof outlet in the ceiling, which is the switched outlet. It's up high. And I've separated that box, and then we've got another switch for recess cans and ceiling fan. Ceiling fan 3-wire, optional. We also have a waterproof outlet low optional, and a CP location on low volt. And it didn't say on the mini map for our low volt whether that CP should be high or low, but I figured, and I'm hoping I figured correctly, with your waterproof outlet low, that you wanted that CP low as well. And that'll get sealed off and taped. Even though it was installed after the lath, we'll get that sealed in and taped waterproof to make sure that there's no problems there. So we got ceiling fan pre-wire. That was the other switch in there. Pardon my stuttering inside. Ceiling can lights, and then the separate waterproof outlet. Okay, we're going to move through the master area. And we got grand rooms here, so we could turn off lights behind ourselves, lights ahead of ourselves. We've got powder room here, and in the powder room there's a stool and vanity with lav, and light above the vanity, and a fan. So there's two switches inside the room. One is for the light, the other is for the fan. As we move into the master area, we've got two switches right here. That's to turn off behind yourself, turn on lights ahead of yourself. There's the storage right here in the hallway. Moving to the master suite. And we've got three switches here. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wire. We've got lights to turn off lights behind ourselves, pardon me, three switches. Turn off our hall lights behind ourselves, ceiling fan pre-wire, and half hot across the room. You've also requested an outlet at 72, also with a CP pre-wire at same location on this wall. So we've got power low, power high, power around the room, with a half hot over next to the bed wall. As we move into the master bathroom, we have pre-framed this for a barn door. You can see the backing above. We've taken, this is on your NSO, we've taken NSO number 2, we've taken this wing out, we've taken this upper framing out, so that barn door will close right against here. And so everything is set up for the barn door. Move into the bathroom. As we come in, switches on your right. And there's two stacks, two double stacks, and I'll tell you about those in a moment. We're gonna switch locations here. So as we come in, we've got fan and shower cans. Down low, which is more handy switching, is the vanity lights, and turn off the lights behind yourself and turn on the vanity lights ahead of yourself. Then the upper switch bank are for the optional or the secondary lights, meaning in the shower, and then the fan. So easy, low access, pretty simple for turning off behind yourself and the vanity lights. So we've got a linen cabinet going here, master vanity. You've requested in this bathroom an outlet inside the cabinet, both cabinets. Here is the optional outlet for this vanity. Here's the outlet that go for inside of this vanity. We've got power outlets next to each vanity on the wall. Also, this was a late add. We got CP6 and power add at 72 inches on this wall. Master shower. What we have here is on this left side as you're facing the shower. This is fixed glass. We've got a piece of fixed glass here, and then on this end is a shower door, and it will go in and out. So both ways, you can step into the shower, turn on shower head, warm things up. Got drain centered. The poured pan will slope everything to that drain. Over on this end, we have additional shower head at this location. Seats on both sides. We got fixed glass door. Right around the corner is the master stool room. Door will swing against the left side wall. We've got two switches inside, one's for the light, one's for the fan. Then the master closet. Master closet, switch inside to turn on recessed cans above. We've got outlets low, service outlet low on all three walls. You've asked for two additional outlets and a third, so we have three in the master closet. Then there's the optional entry to the laundry room. We're going to walk back out the master and we're going to walk toward the kitchen. So as we leave the master bath, we'll turn the lights off behind ourselves, hall lights on ahead. And the three-way switch as we exit the master suite to turn lights off behind yourself. And here we are in the kitchen dining area. And here is the location. We've got, excuse me, this is where the refrigerator goes on the right. We have got the accommodation oven here, or micro above, micro above and under cabinet lights. We've got all outlets horizontal in the kitchen, 38.5 inches above the floor, and that's the go, you probably have a tile backsplash. We also have some low volt, and I'll mention that in a minute. We'll look at that in a minute. But right here, the switching that we've got at the stairwell, we've got a double switch here. And one is for the optional step lights going down. The other is for the ceiling light pre-wire. You've asked for a CLP there, not a recessed can. You can see we've got the recessed dark niche. So we've got a CLP switch and the stair lights going down. Here we've got a double switch, and we've got recessed cans in the kitchen, plus a three-way switch for the under cabinet lights. On the other side of the kitchen, you can turn under cab lights on and off as well, and I'll show you that as we make our way around. You've also added the dine-in nook island, and that's our peninsula here. We got power on all three sides of the island. Got power up underneath the overhang of the countertops. We've got 3 pendants pre-wired here over the island. We've got them evenly spaced. Got recessed cans over the kitchen island, one center over the sink, dishwasher at the end of island, plus in the workspace. Lots of recessed cans here. So we've got our kitchen hood centered. The vent you saw outside. This is our wiring for the hood. We've got power below, gas for the gas cooktop. Power. We've also asked for a CP in the kitchen. That's located here. Power. We've got double oven. Combination micro and oven. Under cab lights, as I mentioned, next to the fridge. These white wires sticking out of the wall are under cabinet lighting on both sides of the range. Then we have 2 switches on this end, and those are both 3-way switches. One is for the recessed cans in the ceiling, and the other is the 3-way switch for the under cab light. Standing at the kitchen sink, centered on the island. We've got power for dishwasher, disposal, water, drain. Also inside of this kitchen cabinet will be the switch for the disposal. Unless I haven't looked far enough ahead to see if you've opted for an air switch, but if you have, that will be on the countertop. If you haven't, the disposal switch will be inside that cabinet. It's pretty standard wiring in the kitchen, standard appliances, everything is in. We've got cabinets, we've got range, cooktop, we've got drawer bases, we've got the double oven cabinet. Over on this side, you've got refrigerator bank, water, power for the reefer, under cab light. I think you asked us to wire this from micro, regardless. Yes. Above countertop. Here is the switch for the pendant lights. So right here we'll operate these pendants over the island. We're making our way to the owner's entry. This little drop zone, little power outlet there. We've got 2 switches here. One is to turn off the lights behind yourself as you're coming in. The other is to turn lights on in the kitchen as you're moving into the kitchen. So at the owner's entry, as I mentioned earlier, we got 2 switches in the garage. One is for the coach lights, and one's for the interior garage lights. You come in the owner's entry, switch. This is pre-wire for security, for the keypad for security. Light switch to turn overhead lights on. We have got pantry with recessed can. Switch inside. And we've got the coat closet and the drop zone. So as you come through, you turn off lights behind yourself, turn on lights ahead of yourself. And those you can turn off as you travel through each space. So we're just going to keep on moving as we move down to the basement. Going to turn on step lights ahead of ourselves, or the hanging fixture that'll be installed, or you'll install. We've got step lights, one centered in the run, one on this landing, one on the second landing, and the 4th step light is centered on this basement run. So as we come down, there are two switches here. One is to turn off the lights behind yourselves on both the ceiling light pre-wire and the step lights. Right around the corner is the switch for the ceiling lights throughout the basement. So everything is in. This is the rough-in for the wet bar. That's the drain for the wet bar location. If you choose to put one in at a later date, as we move to the back patio, I had mentioned earlier, we've got a coach light mounted on the wall. Here's a switch for the coach light. And there's a power outlet behind that. We've got ceiling lights everywhere, smoke detectors in the basement, outside of every room. This is the low volt termination panel and the security termination. So this is where all the magic happens after you move in. We've got water heater, furnace location. We move into the front side. I mentioned that we put two sump pits in your house, and that's because the grade changes from outside. The bottom of the foundation wall changes. This one is located, it's about 3 feet deep, and the bottom of the foundation wall is about 1 foot below what I'm standing on. But that one down there, the bottom of the foundation wall is almost 5 feet below grade. So there is a potential, or it could be susceptible for low groundwater. That's why we install a second sump pit in that walkout area. So this is the ejection pipe for the sump pit, for the sump pump. We will be installing a sump pump. This will all be cleaned out, flushed out, sump pump installed, power for the sump pump. This is a vapor pipe. Within your entire foundation, inside of the entire foundation, we have a perimeter drain. And it's sloped to drain to this sump pit and to the rear sump pit. And any water that might percolate up to the ground, or residual water that would come from surface water outside, if it ever gets that deep, go under the walls, collect in the perimeter drain, and go to the sump pits. We also have everything tied to the city storm water system. So the drain system drains to the city storm first in the street, and then secondarily to the sump pit locations. So they're kind of a backup system for 100-year floods or whatever it is. We've got a vapor pipe here. It's marked vapor, and this is a pipe that's installed and it sits on top of the interior drain, and that's to naturally vent any vapor that might come up through the ground. It would collect in the drain system and then naturally vent or escape itself. This goes all the way up through the roof. And if you would choose to maybe put an exhaust fan on this vapor pipe, there's power available in the attic. I pointed out that outlet into the attic. So we've got a main sewer stack coming down from the secondary bedrooms. That's what that is. Main sewer waste lines from the kitchen area. This side we've got floor drain, Studer vent. Oh, I meant to point out, see if I can locate it here. We do have, here's one. This is the low volt. This, we call it a Smurf tube for slang. But this goes all the way upstairs and up into the attic. So that's a sleeve going all the way to the attic. We also have a photovoltaic pipe or raceway. This is where it terminates in the basement, and this goes all the way up into the attic as well. And what that's for is in the event that you might want to install a solar system, this is a pipe or a raceway for solar companies to be able to pull their wire down from the attic, where their controllers will be located from rooftop panels. So we've got a raceway, two raceways into the attic, photovoltaic and low volt. You can see smoke detector, light. We're gonna move around to this side underneath the master bedroom and bathroom area. So this is the main waste drops for the master. This is rough-in bathroom. If and when you choose to finish your basement, we have got stool, tub, and a lav or sink drains. That's what those are. It's currently got a Studer vent on it. If you would run a bathroom, that would need to be vented to the outside. When we do that, the fan and the plumbing vent would just go outdoors. So we've got walkout walls. This is our second sump pit location in the back. And we install sump pumps. So we'll install 2 sump pumps, and this is the ejection pipe and service power for the sump pump. ceiling lights. There is heat supply down here, return air down here. So it is conditioned space. We've got 4 heat vents and 1 return air. Okay, so here we are. I'm standing in what would be the wet bar area. This also back here, this is what we finally refer to as the water tree. This is our main water service coming in from the street. It comes in. We've got shut-off valve. We've got a T. This T here, this copper T, is for the irrigation system going outside, and a shut-off valve with a drain cock here. This is a hammer arrestor. In irrigation lines, there may be some air build up in the lines. This is to prevent any knocking or hammering in the lines, any air in the lines. This is called PRV, our pressure regulating valve, and we got a shut off above and below that. So anything that may go wrong, or if you'd ever need to service, these come preset from the factory, and this just happens to be preset, pardon me, as I move around here. It's preset at 50 PSI, 50 pounds per square inch. That's the water pressure. This is the adjustment on that. This will be explained to you in greater detail at your new homeowner orientation meeting about 1 week before closing. So we've got main shut off, isolation shut off. This shuts off the whole house as well. This shuts off all water. This is your main water supply, and everything branches off of that. All of the labs and toilets, everything branches off of this. But we need to isolate that valve. That's why there's 2 shut-offs here. This wire, this bare copper wire, this is a water bond electrical grounding device. We have 2 means of electrical ground in your house. One is water bond. This connects to the water service coming in from the ground and all the way over to the electric panel. Also, there's a grounding device in the garage, and it is called a concrete encased electrode, and that has a grounding wire also, which goes to the panel. So there's 2 means of electric grounding in the home. So that wraps up everything within the house. We're gonna take a pause, we're gonna go upstairs, and we'll wrap up upstairs. Okay, Craig and Christy, I'm sitting in your kitchen, sitting on your island, and we talked about the grading and the drainage on the plot plan. And like I mentioned, if you don't have one, please get one from Kyle. Gutters and downspouts, elevation, the modern prairie elevation, and the window grids. We talked about that, the elevation window grids. Electrical locations, I think we covered everything. Low volt and security we covered. Plumbing locations, mechanical locations. Change orders, we're too late in the game to change anything at this point. And then the last little item that we're going to touch on is the projected schedule. Right now, at the 20th of August, it should take me about 4 months to finish your house. And we have many things in our environment, as you're well aware, that we're contending with. And one of them is the coronavirus. And we're taking great precautions with all of our contractors, and we appreciate your cooperation that you're only coming out and visiting on the weekends. We're trying to keep them safe and keep things moving. But one of the impacts of that is we're putting only 1 trade in a house at a time. We're not mixing electrical and plumbing and electricians and HVAC guys and framers and tile guys. We're keeping people separated for their safety, for our safety, and keeping people on the job. And we've been pretty fortunate. But what that does is we finally refer to it as the COVID stretch. And that is a little bit of a stretch in the schedule where things may take a little longer to finish, especially on the back end or the finish end, because that's where we usually have multiple contractors working together at the same time. So what's happening next is, I had mentioned earlier that tomorrow, Friday, I will have the balance of my rough inspections from the city of Broomfield, and I'll be insulating tomorrow as well. And then on Monday, I have energy inspections. They come in and test all of the duct work, checking for sealing, making sure I have everything sealed properly. They inspect all of the insulation, all of the air gaps, make sure that everything is tight. And then Tuesday, I am stocking drywall. We'll move right to hanging drywall, and that's about a 14-day process. It's taking a little bit longer with the inspections that I have to put in between. It's about a 14-day process for drywall. Might be about 10. But then after we move through drywall is cabinets, tile. First we go tile, cabinets, hardwood, but we have to keep those trades separately. Even though they all are part of the same company, they are different trades, separate contractors that are do those trades. So with that said, in a nutshell, we're looking at about a 4-month timeline, plus or minus. So we're talking September, October, November, December. Your house might close in December, but it more than likely might move into the first of the year, and I hope that's okay with you. But just communicate with Kyle. We'll just see how the next month or so go. We are also experiencing supply chain issues. We're having great slowdowns in electrical fixture procurement, door hardware procurement, tile. We're having problems getting tile up from Mexico, also imported tile. That has been slowed down at the border as well, whether it's coming from Italy or wherever, it's Spain. A lot of it comes from China. We're having problems with China fixtures coming from China, from Mexico. We're having a lot of supply chain issues. Appliances. We're having back-ordered appliances. Some of them are moving 2 to 3 months out. So we have ordered everything for your house, but we are seeing some supply chain slowdowns. So I want to make sure that your expectations are met, but I don't want to overstate what we can do with the supply chain issues and the COVID scheduling that we're having to do. So anyway, stay in touch with Kyle. We have updates every week. So Kyle should be able to, if you're coming out and visiting on the weekend, you'll see how we're moving ahead. Your house does not sit idle. Something happens all the time. So we'll just keep moving ahead at the best pace that we can. And we'll stay in touch with you on a weekly basis, and we'll just see how things come out in the end. Well, that's all I can share with you for now. But if you have anything, please contact with Kyle. He gets me information daily. So please let me know how we're doing and if there's anything I need to be doing for you. Thanks, and look forward to talking with you soon.